Hello nerdlings, and welcome to this 11th edition core rules review as promised. There's 5 things that jumped out at me when I was looking through the core rules. We're going to look at some unit coherency, and I think there might be some Necron players crying out there. We're going to sort of look at splitting melee attacks, which is something that I was not aware of in 10th edition. We're going to look at saving rolls and how they work now in 11th, which does confuse the brain somewhat. And we're also going to look at the favourite part of the game that I believe is also the best part of the game, the charge and the fight phase. Okay, so we'll look at more of an AOS style charge move, the overrun, and more importantly the cleave. And there'll be some other little things in the slideshow as well that we'll be looking at. So rotating models is gone. It's brilliant. It's a free rotate. This is really good. So in previous 10th edition, you had to move, rotate. If it was a vehicle, take 2 inch off your move, then move again, and then you get a free rotate. So long as you didn't go over that movement of that vehicle, and everything has to rotate through the central axis, as you can see in the picture there. That was in the core rules. This is really good. This is a great move. I think this is for me especially, and our club here in the Falkland Islands. There is sometimes a bit of a debate in relation to pivot during games, and if players seem to be getting advantage or not getting advantage or whatever. It just seems to bring up a bit of a debate with players. So I'm all for this change, and I think that's a massive win for everybody. It's just going to tidy things up and make things so much easier for moving vehicles and monsters, etc. So yeah, happy with this one. Unit coherency. This has changed somewhat as well. So within 2 inches and horizontally and 5 inches vertically of at least one other model in that unit, which is exactly the same as it currently is in 10th edition. But the big change, you have to be within 9 inches horizontally and 5 inches vertically of every other model in that unit. No more dog bone stringing out. You won't be able to do that, which is great. Yes, I was doing it with my jackals, but only really just to stop deep strike in the back line, which is what a lot of players would use it for. But I didn't really use it as efficiently as some Necron players out there. One in our club, especially with his Necrons, would string the models out and then be touching like 3 bloody objective markers, and then it was really difficult to 1 deep strike and then 2 get onto those objective markers because of the string out. So cry Necron players, I don't really care. I really do like this one. I think this is going to be good for the game. It's going to mean a lot more happening in back lines. It's going to be easy to hopefully to get into back lines. It's also going to make you think about your back line a lot more now, and making sure that all your units are bunched together and not strung out. So yeah, another good one in favour of this one. I didn't realise you could split melee attacks in 10th edition. I thought you had to put all your attacks into that unit that you would select. So for example, if you've got 2 units that you're engaged with, I was under the impression that, say, my MOE would attack 1 unit, he had to use all of his attacks. Well, if you actually go into the 10th edition making attacks rule, it actually states in there further down that you can split attacks. I just didn't know that. I really didn't know that. I wonder how many other players didn't know that. It makes me wonder, that's why GW has actually made it a little box in the core rules, so it actually stands out more than it previously did, which is really good. It's good to know going forward. Saving rolls. It's trying to speed up the rolls of the opponent so that they're not having to roll for each bodyguard first, then their character, because they've obviously got a different saving throw. You literally throw all the dice together, and then you allocate your dice into groups for your bodyguard first, and then obviously the last lot of it go on to your character, which means your character can survive for a lot longer, which is really, really good. So it could make for some interesting combats going forward and survivability of characters. So the charge phase has an Age of Sigmar style charging, which is fantastic. Now, I've played a couple of games of Spear, was base to base. I really liked that. It meant that you weren't leaving your unit exposed in no man's land. If you failed your charge, it wasn't just sitting there sort of, you know, waving, oh, I'm going to die, next go. So that's really good. You also don't have to complete the charge roll. So if you don't like the result you got, you don't actually have to charge as well. So that's really, really interesting. So I quite like this one. I think this is a really good change for melee arms especially. This is fantastic. It means there's a greater chance of tagging someone. Also, there's now an overrun. We kind of were doing this in 10th edition. People were just calling it a second pile-in. The Zerks charge into a unit of Space Marines. Then the Juggernaut will charge into those Space Marines as well. Everybody's now into those Space Marines. The Zerks fight first. They kill all the Space Marines out of the way. Then the Juggernaut is sitting there, and generally what you can do in 10th edition is if there is another enemy within 3 inches of you, you can pile into that enemy and fight again. So GW have just cleaned this up and called it an extra overrun. So it's just another pile in for 3 inches. So it allows that Juggernaut to then pile into that unit that's 3 inches away and then fight, hopefully kill that unit. Quite like that they've just cleaned all that up. I like that one. Corn likes this one. Cleave. So basically got a blast in melee. That is a beautiful thing. Absolutely beautiful thing. It's going to obviously be a datasheet update to certain units. So that's really interesting. I'm really hoping the World Eaters will benefit from this in the fight phase. Let's hope the World Eaters will get some fancy cleave weapons in this new edition. So that's really good. Blast in combat. Absolutely brilliant. There are a couple of other changes as well that I'm quite interested in. I haven't put them all on here, so there are other ones that I will mention. As everybody knows, your hidden 15-inch detection range for swarm infantry and beasts if you are in a terrain feature, which is really good for a World Eater unit because usually you get shot off the table, which is really annoying because you've that line of sight. So this gives us a little bit of an edge here, so you can get into terrain features. So long as you're not within 15 inch, you can't be shot. If you do shoot, however, then you can be seen. So I really do like that one, and I'm liking the new abilities that are coming out reflecting hidden. So that's really interesting. Fire Overwatch, which is a bane of my life in this game. Yes, I do use it, but I don't like it. You shouldn't be shooting in my go. It's just how I feel. I don't like you shooting in my go. It's my turn, not your turn. And it used to annoy me so much. You get all your Zerkers or all your World Eater models, and you're ready to charge a nice final big hurrah or a really clutch move into the enemy, and then they go, I'm going to fire Overwatch. And then you just watch your Zerks get decimated, and it's so frustrating, especially with some units allowing you to you know, crit on 5 or whatever. You know, you're hitting on 5s, not 6s. It was just, I just don't like it. So this new change basically means you do it at the end of the movement phase only. So once the opponent has moved all their models, or not moved their models, as the case may be, you can then declare an Overwatch at the end of the movement phase. You can also shoot models that haven't moved, which is a really interesting one. Could be something for players to think about now, that you can be Overwatch irrelevant if you've moved or not. That's a big plus for me. That's huge, because it stops the Overwatch in the charge phase, which means I can hide, I can stage better, and then I can plow out in the charge phase knowing I'm not going to Overwatch, or I have to hide in terrain, come out so they can't Overwatch me. So I'm really looking forward to this one. It means I can now start being a bit more aggressive with my units, more than I have been, and not worrying if they're in the open in the charge phase, we're ready for an Overwatch. Heroic Intervention is now 12 inches. That's an interesting one. I play it sometimes, not all the time. It's used against me quite a lot, so it's something I'm going to have to really think about now, is the fact there's an extra 6 inches on top of that. There's also, you can also Heroic Intervention for 6 inches as well, if that unit hasn't charged. Am I a big fan of this one? I don't know yet. We'll see. Like I said, I don't really use heroic intervention more. Maybe this is the push for me to start using it more than I should have done in 10th edition. So we'll see. We'll see how that one goes. Crushing impact, monster keyword. Thank you very much. Angron can now tank shot. Brilliant. That's really good news. That's fantastic. So really chuffed about that one. Even my demon princes can tank shock. That's great. Brilliant. I think the Nids players as well are really happy about that, because now all the Nid monsters can actually do some tank shocking as well. So also do like this one, if it's a little bit dicey, but combat disembark, getting some Zerks in a Rhino, you charge around my Rhino, I don't really care. I'm disembarking for 6 inches and I can be within engagement range. Yes, I have to roll a hazardous test on 1s and 2s. Dodgy, yes, but potentially a game-changing moment. So I really do like that one. It's going to be interesting and see how that one pans out. Flying models now have the option of taking to the skies, which is basically 2 inches off your movement. But that means you can move over any terrain features if it's not there, any model if it's not there, with just 2 inches off your movement. Angry Ron is going to love this. I haven't played Angron for ages because his abilities are crap. I wanted a reason to start using them. He now has crushing impact, and he can fly all over the terrain no matter what. A few other things that I picked up on in the book as well, and one that was mentioned on another channel in regards to Revive, and Tabletop Tactics have also picked this up. They think it's going to be FAQ, and I will put my money on that it will be, because it's all to do with if you've got an apothecary, or for example your slaughterbound, even if your bodyguard unit has disappeared and you're still alive, you can keep reviving your units even though there's no more bodyguards. So that's really interesting. Don't like the idea of wraiths never being able to be killed. That's not good. That's just silly. Wraiths are a really painful thing right now in 10th, and for them to be able to just keep coming back, that's not good. So I'm pretty sure that will get changed. That will be FAQ, but let's see. Let's see where we are with it in the next few weeks, months, and see what GW do. So that's a brief look at the core rules for 11th edition and the few things that I've picked out that I think will be interesting moving forward. I think this might help the World Eaters as a melee army. But what do you think? You tell me in the comments below. Is there anything that's going to interest you in 11th edition? Is there rules that you're looking forward to using? Other rules that you're looking at and going, oh, I'm not really looking forward to that at all. That's broken. Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget, if you do like the footage that I'm providing, then do give a sub, do like, do share. It means a lot to me. I'd like to continue to build this channel up, so please do drop a like in the bottom there. And with that, so thanks for watching, nerdlings. Enjoy 11th edition gaming.